Hello, Mario.
How are you?
I'm good. Okay, I'll take this.
Where are you?
I'm at my son's house, at Shmuli's house. Want to shout out to Shmuli? Shout out to Mario.
How are you?
How are you?
Hey, what's going on with you? You went very
Using the
thin.
beard. The beard's getting wider.
Oh, okay. So you should do like your son was and lose some weight.
Huh? What'd you say?
You should lose some weight also, like your son.
You mean he looks like me? Thin, like me?
No, the other way around. The other way around. You should lose weight.
What do you mean I should lose weight? I'm a 32 waist. What do you want me to be? Less than a 32?
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
I'm a 32 waist, in case you didn't know. I'm thin enough. I don't need to lose anymore. I got a fat face. It's okay. And stop the recording, please.
Oh, you want me to stop it?
Yeah.
Hi, Walt.
You're in Vegas?
I am. We're in the Paris Hotel.
How's the gambling?
No, we haven't done any gambling. Yeah.
How's Paris? That's not such a. Is it okay, the hotel?
Beautiful.
Really?
Beautiful. It looks like you're in Paris in the interior of the hotel. Like you walk around, it's cobblestones. It's very.
Oh, the one.
The Eiffel Tower, yes.
Yeah.
But the hotel is beautiful. Rooms are nice, and they have the convention center is in the hotel. So you just go down the elevator, and it's sometimes at these places there's a lot of walking. It's very self-contained. We had a beautiful lunch at a place called Cafe Express in Summerlin, which is about a 15-minute drive. 20 minutes?
Did you go to Jerusalem for dinner tonight?
We're going there tomorrow. Tonight we're going to Burnt Offerings.
How can you go tomorrow to Jerusalem at Shabbos?
No, tomorrow for lunch, and then you pick up. You can get a cholent. You can get like a crock pot with a cholent and sandwiches. You can get Shabbos food. We'll pick it up from. We'll go have lunch there tomorrow and pick up our Shabbos stuff.
I love that Jerusalem. It's a very good restaurant.
Yeah, but you don't like Burnt Offerings?
I was never in Burnt Offering. I don't know.
Yeah, they have steaks, lamb chops. It's a nice grill. Do you have some water for me?
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, Mario, you're a recorder.
Bring you? You didn't?
Yes, I started it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Walter.
You're gonna meet the little dog.
And what we do here, it's a convention. So I'm an exhibitor because I'm marketed. Okay. Okay. That means during the breaks, the attorneys go around and I stand at one of the booths that represents me as a doctor, and they most of them know me. So you see the lawyer. So it's valuable for me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Tuesday attends the lectures.
Oh.
Okay. We're on Lamed Vav on the day.
Yes, on the Mishnah.
Mishnah. Now tomorrow we can learn at 3:30. Want to do it 3:30 or 4? What you tell me? What?
No, 4 will be too late.
Let's make it 3:30. Make
Okay.
it 3:30. Sanhedrin Isa Yosheves Kechatzi Goren Agula. This is a Bezdin of 23 that would adjudicate capital crimes. And they would sit in a half circle. That's how they would sit. That way, each judge can see each other, and they could see the Eidim that are testifying in front of them. There were two scribes standing in front of them, echad miyamin ve'echad b'tzmol, one to the right, one to the left. All of the arguments made by the Dayanim that feel that the guy is guilty, and the arguments who feel that the guy is innocent, they write them all down. Rav Yehuda Omer Shloisha. There weren't two scribes, there were three. Echad kosev divrei mezakin, only. One of the scribes only writes the arguments for innocent. The echad divrei machayvim. The other one writes only the arguments for guilty. Vashlishi kosev divrei mezakin and divrei machayvim. The third scribe would write all of the arguments, both. So, because if there was an argument, what was written, they could always rely on the third argument. And this is an interesting detail. In front of this semicircle of 23 dayanim were 3 rows of Talmidei Chachamim. Each row had 23. So there were 69 total. And each sat in a specific place. The biggest Talmid Chacham in the row was number 1, and then you had number 2, number 3, number 4, up until 23. Then you have the second row and the third row. Now let's say one of the 23 Dayanim who are on the Bezdin itself dies in the middle of the case. So one of the Talmidim, number 1, in row number 1, would advance to the Sanhedrin. And then Echad ben Ashniya Bala L'Rishona. And then they would all move down one seat. The guy in the second row who was number 1 in that row now becomes number 23 in row 1. That's how they would move up. And Echad min Ashlish Bala L'Shniya. One of the Talmidim in the third row goes to the second row. Now the back row is missing 1. There was also an audience, and there were budding Talmidei Chachamim in the audience. This was their chance, and they could be appointed to be one of the Talmidim. He wouldn't sit. He would sit in seat number 23 in row 3. Now, how do we know that this Bezdin, they sat in a half circle? Sharech zu Sanhedrin. Lama nikra shma Sharech shehi yoshevet betiburo shel oilam. The Sanhedrin sat in the base of Mikdash, which is the center of the world. Again, Shaya Megina Kol Olam Kulo. The Schus, the Sanhedrin, they gave credit to the whole world. Hasar, Shehidom El Asar. It's like a half moon, and that's the hint that the Sanhedrin sat like a half moon. Al Yasar Mazeg. It's like a filter. No. It's like when you dilute wine, which is 1/3. Shemutzrach echad mehen lotzes roinim yesh esr v'shloisha keneged Sanhedrin Katan. They would want 23. Yotzei v'imlav any yotzei. They would need the full 23, and they would wait until he came back if he left. Bitei charim aschitim, marim aschitim akol neni mimena. Gathering of wheat, everyone benefits from it. Av Sanhedrin akol neni mitamezin. Mitamein. Everybody benefits from the reasoning of the Sanhedrin. Stuga b'shoshanim. The praise of Klal Yisrael. Shafilu kesuga shoshanim lo yifetzu ben protzei. Like a circle of roses, but it's not a very strong fence. But Yisrael keep the Torah, and they keep all the takonos of the Chachamim. There was a certain apikoris that said to Rav Kahana, we don't prohibit a man's wife who's a nida for you not to have yichud with her. Now, why not? Could you light a fire with straw and it not burn up? How do you prevent them from sinning? They're encircled by roses, which is not a very strong wall, but still we listen to the takanas of the chachamim to stay away from sin. Like the pomegranate. Even the most inferior spiritually of Klal Yisrael are full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate. Rozer Amar Mehacha. Vayarach Asreach Begadov, that when Yaakov Avinu came into his father Yitzchak to get a bracha, he was dressed up like Esav, and Yitzchak smelled the garments of Esav, and Al Tikra Begadov Ela Boigda. That means even the trader in Yisrael are on a very high level. There were these wild people living in the neighborhood of Rav Zera. Rav Zera would always be makarv them to do tshuva. The Chachamim were upset with Rav Zera that he was always trying to be makarv them. Rav Zera, when he passed away, Amri, up until now, this person of small thighs, this was a nickname of Rav Zera, would always daven for us, that we shouldn't be punished. So who's going to hashta man boy al and who's going to daven for us? Yirhu b'li boy v'avdi tshuva. So the Chachamim, or rather the Biryonim, thought it out and they did tshuva. Shalosh shuras hayusha. There were 3 rows of talmidim in front of the Sanhedrin. Amar Abaya, mamina kinaydi kuluna. They would all, when one would move to the front, they would all move seats, like like we described. Now, V'leimalahu Adi in listen, the guy who was in the first seat in row 2 now is in the last seat in row 1. Now you put me with the tail? Better to be a tail of a lion than a head of a fox. Because the first row is much better than the second row. Okay. Then the Mishnah said, how do we terrorize the Eidim that they would tell the truth? When it was Eidim testifying on capital crimes, they would bring them in and they would scare them. Maybe you didn't see it with your own eyes, you heard it. Maybe from another person. Or in the end, we're going to ask you questions of Drisha v'Chakira. And a capital crime is different than a money crime. If you tried to have the guy pay money and it's not so, all you have to do is pay money. This man's blood and all of his generations who follow him are dependent on your testimony. Cain killed his brother. The blood of your brother is crying. Plural. Not only his blood, but the blood of all of his generations that did not survive or were never born. There was blood everywhere on the stones, on the trees. The person was born singular. That if you destroy one person in Klal Yisrael, it's as if you destroyed the whole world. If you support one person, the other reason they were born unique, so a person wouldn't say to his friend, my father was greater than you. We're all from the same father. The Apikorsim say there isn't one God, there's many gods. So that's why a person was born Lechidi, for him to know that Hashem created it. When a person is making coins and he has a stamp that makes the coin, they all look the same. The Kodesh Baruch Hu used the same template, Adam Arisho, yet every human being looks different. The world was created for me. So the Eidim will say, why am I getting involved in this? We won't give testimony at all. But it says, if you know and you withhold your testimony, you'll have a sin. Fine, even though it's also for us to not give testimony, maybe it's better to get that isser. There's no punishment if he's a Rasha, if the guy's really a Rasha. There's no punishment. How do we try to threaten them? Maybe this is what you see. You saw Reuven chase Shimon into a ruin. And you ran in. You found a sword in Reuven's hand and blood dripping from Shimon's neck. The horror of Mefarpir. In Kach Ritem, Loritem Klum, you didn't see anything. You've got to actually see Reuven kill him. Otherwise, it's circumstantial. I once saw this happen. Person ran into a ruin with his friend, and I ran in. And I saw a sword in Reuven's hand, and Shimon was bleeding, and he's almost dying. And I said to Reuven, who killed this person? Oh, Ani or Ata, me or you? But I can't bring you to din because I didn't see you do it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows all man's thoughts will take revenge from the person who killed Shimon. Immediately a snake came and killed Reuven by biting. He wasn't deserving to be bitten by a snake. That even though there's no Sanhedrin, Arba Mises Lobotlu, the 4 capital punishments are carried out. They weren't abolished. Ella din Arba Mises Lobotlu. For example, Mishnas Chayv Skila, somebody who was supposed to get Skila, or Neufel and Agag, he falls off a roof. Or Chaya Dursa, so a wild animal kills him. Mishnas Chayv Sreifa, somebody who's supposed to get Sreifa. Oh, Nofel, but like he dies in a fire, or Nachash Makisha, or he's bitten by a snake. And this guy did not do something to be Mischayev Sreifa. Nishas Chayv Ariga, whoever's supposed to have his head cut off, O Nim Malakus, the government cuts his head off, O List in Boimalav, or robbers come and kill him. Nishas Chayv Chenek, choking, O Tovebanar, he drowns, O Meis Besruch, he gets diphtheria. So why did this guy get bitten by a snake? Amri, he had a different sin, which could have gotten him Sreifa. So if you've done a virus that give you 2 punishments, you get the more stringent punishment. So no, the din the fashus the law dinam. Habedine nominus dinam. By capital crimes, you need to hear from the Edom exactly what they say. But dinam nominus, you can use sort of circumstantial evidence. You see a camel jumping around in other camels. You see a dead camel. We assume that it was the camel jumping.
Mario, there's a lot of noise, Mario.
Oh, my door is slightly open. Sorry.
So you can use circumstantial evidence for money cases. That's called aid mipia dictoni. When you said you hear it from another aid, so what? You can give testimony aid mipia vatnat. If you didn't see it directly, but you heard it from second hand, or ish ploni omerli shuchayev lo amar klum. Ad sheyomer b'fanenu, in front of us, hoidelu, the guy who owed money admits shuchayev lo masayim zuz. Alma afagav de psila b'din emomenas amrinan luhu b'din nefashos. So it is possible by din emomenas as well. And yet we say it by din nefashos. So chanami afagav de psile, it would be possible edus. But we warn them about din nefashos as well. when Cain killed Hevel, he made multiple wounds because you see blood all over the place. Cain didn't know how is the neshama going to leave, so he made many wounds. Until he got to his neck. From the day that the earth opened up its mouth, and received the blood of Hevel, Shuv lo poskel, the mouth didn't open up. Shnemar, miknafa aretz miro, shemanu tefillah tzadik. Miknafa aretz lo mipi aretz. Other times it's from the corner, but not from the mouth. Eisvia Chizkiah achi. So Chizkiah asked the following shaila: Batiftach aretz piyah. Vativlau time is batayam. This is the Korach people, that the earth opened up its mouth and swallowed them. Amar lo l'ra pascha, but l'toiva lo pascha. It means for future evil events, it did open, but for good it didn't open. Amar l'breder Rav Yechid, galus mechaperes oven mechza. When you go into exile, it atones 50%. Because mikar ksiv vayisa navanat. Initially, Cain said, I'm going to go from here to there. All of a sudden, no. He didn't have to go to the Navinat. So half of the punishment was atoned. I'm ready to Golus, because Cain went into Golus. I'm ready to Golus, Mechaper Shloshad Dvorim. Exiles Mechaper 3 things. Shnemer, Komar Hashem, Hayoshe Be'ira Zos, Yamus Becherev, Uvarav, Uvadever, Vayotze v'nafal ala kazdim atzrim alechem, v'chaya, v'aisalo nafshal l'shalom. So if you golus mishalayim, he'll be saved from these 3 deaths: Cherev, Rav, and Dever. Rav Yechdamar golus b'chaper salakol. Exile atones for everything, like a new person. Shneimar, Komar Hashem, Kisfuas ha'isha zeh ariri gever lo yatzliach b'yamav. And Ubasar de Gala, after he went exile, Ksiv, Uvnei Yechanya, Asr Shaltil Beno. He only had one son. We give him multiple names. Those are just nicknames. His son was called Asir. She ibartu imo besa asurin. His mother gave birth to him in prison. Vishaltiel, shatlo, shelo kedercha nishtoli. He was given birth in a way not normal. Because Gmiri ain't ha'isha misaberes b'me'umet. You can't become pregnant if they have relations standing. And he was conceived while they had relations standing because they were in prison. They had no other way. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We'll see everybody tomorrow at 3:30.
Bye, Ernie. Enjoy.
That's what they were talking about that night. That